Linda, I really liked your action on that ER problem. 100% denial? I didn't think you had it in you.
Well, it was a legitimate solution. I wouldn't have done it if I thought we were cheating anyone. Anyway, we have an appeal process, as you know, so if they have a legitimate claim, they'll call and protest.
Well, I'm glad you came up with a solution. Maybe you can help this company make some money. You know, some managed care companies have a bonus system.
We're nonprofit.
Well, that just means the company can't show a profit. It doesn't mean that we as individuals can't benefit.
Ah, yes, the classic not-for-profit that somehow turns a profit with bonuses to spare. Don't you just love corporate America? G'day guys, Holy Critics signing in. If you're a fan of true dramas that expose the dark side of the healthcare system, then Damaged Care is an absolute must-watch. Laura Dern stars as a doctor caught between doing what's right for her patients and navigating the cold, profit-driven world of health insurance. It's a tense, thought-provoking film that'll have you questioning the very ethics of modern medicine. There's definitely a lot to unpack here, so make sure you stick around for my full breakdown at the end.
It is the still, small voice that the soul heeds. So many people take their voices for granted. So many people never even stop to think about what it means to have a voice. I think about it all the time. I think about your voice in particular. And I wonder what it is like. And I imagine how strong it must be.
The patient came in yesterday complaining of abdominal pain. Who can tell me why we're going to be recommending a gallbladder operation?
She needs an operation. There aren't even specific symptoms.
Why'd you go ahead and say something? Come on, raise that hand right up there.
Dr. Gordon, apart from the abdominal pain, what are the indications for a gallbladder?
She has no definitive symptoms. But the patient is 3F, which makes her a prime candidate for the operation.
3F, Dr. Gordon?
Fat, female, and 40. Now, you all may think that's flippant, but there's several very good reasons to perform this operation. One, it is quite likely that the patient will indeed benefit from it, and at the very least, it will do her no harm. Two, you'll all have a chance to observe the operation. The more operations we do, the better educated the next generation of surgeons. And three, it's entirely paid for by her insurance. Any questions?
And that's just your speaking voice, your worldly voice.
He just said that.
Grave boredom and money.
You also have an inner voice.
Nice to meet you, Tina.
That's a voice that guides you to stake out positions and define who you are as a person. And it can change as you change over the course of a lifetime.
Dr. Pino, I could tell from your transcripts and letters of recommendation that you made quite the impression. But why didn't you go into practice when you were graduated from medical school?
I expected that question. And the answer is that I got married. My husband's an OB/GYN, and we both had children from a previous marriage. His son, frankly, Brian, there's a custody situation over, and well, we also adopted another child, Tasha, who's my daughter's best friend at school, and she had all kinds of difficulties with her family, and her grandma died, and then her great aunts were taking care of her, and...
I think I get the picture, thanks. And now that they're getting older, I gather you're ready to take on a little bit more?
As long as the hours are flexible.
The hours are flexible.
Great, because that means a lot to me, too, so to be able to do both is
So,
incredible.
tell me, what do you know about managed care?
Well, I believe it's a new kind of medical insurance.
An HMO, Health Maintenance Organization, is a group that contracts with medical facilities, physicians, employers, sometimes even individual patients to provide medical care. Essentially, we insert a layer of management between the physician and the patient to let them both make more responsible decisions.
That's a lot like what I did at Beaumont. I really like that work. I have to say, I mean, I think it ensures that patients are getting the kind of care they deserve, and it's very rare that
Last
they actually...
year, Dr. Pino, corporations providing employee benefits saw their costs rise by 39%.
Right. Wow.
Now, that was for the third year in a row. Are you familiar with the term scoping for dollars?
If you mean doctors ordering up all kinds of tests and procedures so they can bill up the insurance? Yes, I have to tell you, I think it's unethical. It's got to be stopped.
That's good, because a medical reviewer here at Humana would share that opinion. And he would be able to say, no, we will not tolerate it.
Right.
So can you do that?
Can I say we won't tolerate it, you mean, or?
Yeah. This job is a job that calls for some tough decision-making.
Right.
And my question about you, Dr. Pino, my big question is, can you be tough? I mean, after all, you're a girl.
Well, it depends on what you mean by tough, I said. If you mean being a poor girl from a backwoods family in Hodgenville, having a baby at a very early age...
I'll say.
Hey! Watch it, Buster. And still somehow managing to be the first person in my family to put herself through college, let alone getting into medical school. Well, I don't know, sir. What do you think?
Bravo! Here, here.
Did you really say all that?
You didn't. I thought it. He was Gros, but Humana has a lot to offer, and they actually got a lot of the same goals we've always talked about.
Absolutely.
You're right. I should have said something.
I'm really glad you got the job, Mom.
I think it'd be great for you to get back to work in a place where you can use more of your medical training, buddy.
Right.
Right?
We're all gonna have to make a big adjustment around here. I'm gonna need y'all's help. Because, you know, Brian, just maybe have to make your own bed.
I think that's pushing it a little too far.
Well, with your mom bringing an extra $50 an hour, I think we can all afford to sacrifice.
These are the utilization review nurses. They're the first ones to receive calls about insurance claims. Now, they have the ability to approve claims if they satisfy the qualifications we've established for approval. Every one of these nurses can instantly consult with our computerized network to determine if a subscriber's claims meets our criteria for coverage. That's where you'll find the manager of our utilization review staff, Cheryl Griffiths. She's very competent. Hey, Ted, Amy. This floor is where our staff of medical reviewers is situated. Doctors like yourself working on rotation, which is going to ensure your flexible work hours. Now, only those claims that the UR nurses have not approved arrive here. Then it becomes your decision whether you're going to uphold the tacit denial of the UR nurses or whether you're going to find some justifiable grounds to approve the claim. You know, I shouldn't need to emphasize that our UR staff are extremely competent, knowledgeable about our operation, and that they've carefully considered their judgment before it ever arrives here.
Well, of course.
So that should make your job very easy. All right, this is your office right here, which you will be sharing with Dr. Joseph Marsh.
Mr. Dalton.
He works the late shift. Oh, thank you. So your paths should rarely cross. Good luck.
Thank you. Yes, I'm following up on the patient Danny Ottawa. Dr. Stevens submitted a request for referral to an ENT specialist as a tube candidate. He is... Sorry, yes, I'll be calling you back right away, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Sam Verbush, fellow warrior. Nice to meet you.
Linda Pino, hi.
Could I give you a word of advice, Linda?
Sure.
Don't get so involved.
Well, on this one, the boy's eardrum is ruptured.
I know you're a doctor too, and that's your training, but it's not what we're here to do. I mean, you're not that little boy's PCP.
PCP? I'm sorry.
Primary care physician.
It's a network term, Linda. Hi. Avery Principal. Yeah, it's coming into widespread use in the managed care industry. And if I may, we're very leery of the inner ear tubes just because they've been so overprescribed.
Oh, is that right?
Every person who has a claim has a story to tell. We just got to keep reminding ourselves what we're here to do.
Which is?
Stopping physicians from duping their patients into submitting to unnecessary procedures and passing the cost on to us.
No, but I understand, believe me.
Nice to meet you. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.
You must be the new doctor, Dr. Linda Pino, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm the head UR nurse.
Oh, Cheryl Griffith.
Yeah.
Ralph Galston told me about you. It's nice to meet you. I'm a great admirer of nurses. I wished I'd been a nurse, actually.
But you're a doctor.
Well, I got rejected from nursing school because I had a child. I think it's just the purest, most compassionate, hands-on work in the medical profession.
Oh, I think I'm gonna like you. We're gonna be good friends.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, 101, sweet pea. You're not going to school tomorrow. Go find you a babysitter.
Can't you stay with me?
Oh, honey, I wish I could. I've got to work tomorrow.
How come it's more important to take care of other sick people than it is to take care of me?
Oh, Brian, honey. Oh, sweetheart, it's not. I promise. Let me tell you a bedtime story. Okay. Here's a special story. It's about slaying dragons. Once upon a time, there were these lawmakers in Washington, D.C., way up there. And they made this thing called the HMO Act of 1973. You gotta be kidding me. He's gonna like this one. This is a good story.
Thanks, Dharma.
Okay, now, Prozac's the only requested medication? And a private room? Okay. Well, could you be more specific, Dr. Barron? I'm trying to ascertain the exact medical reason for checking Mrs. Stanley into the hospital. That's not possible. Okay. I think you're going to be pleased with me on this one. In fact, I'm pleased with myself.
Good, good. Now, Linda, I need to go over these case files with you.
Okay. I just caught this Dr. Theodore Barron. trying to use a hospital as a sanitarium for one of his rich society patients. Don't worry, I put a stop to it. I told him Humana is not responsible for...
Call him back.
I'm sorry.
We're in renegotiation with our doctors in the Louisville area.
Oh, I don't understand what that means.
Well, Humana contracts with a number of local doctors to provide health care for our subscribers. To assure that we keep these doctors in our network, we want to make sure we don't ruffle any feathers, particularly powerful feathers like Dr. Barron. So for now, we're approving a lot of procedures we wouldn't normally approve.
Okay, well, can you give me some kind of guidelines?
Pretty much everything. For now. But now, retroactively, this is much more to the point. I need to get some more information about this lumpectomy you approved and a series of tests for a boy with asthma.
Okay, I thought you just said to approve everything.
In the Louisville area. We don't have the same situation in our other markets, so we still need to be fiscally responsible, all right?
But this is every procedure I've approved in the last week.
Look, you're new here. It's just routine. We just want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Okay, well, then do you want to check my denials?
No, I would not. They've already been approved by the UR nurses downstairs.
There are a few procedures that I think were borderline and...
Dr. Pina, why do you have to question every little thing?
Custody to a father who's married to someone that worked 60 hours a week.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, I wish I was. You know, I had no idea that when you took this job, it would hurt our chances for keeping Brian.
Honey, I'm so sorry. You want me to quit?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard for me. Seeing him go back with his mother.
Of course it is. Oh, baby. Oh, God. It's not over yet, okay? Don't forget that. We'll find a way to get it back.
I hope you're right.
I'm always right.
Children listen to people's voices. They listen to the tone sometimes and not the words. They can hear things that we don't even know we're saying.
Hey. Hey. How excited your mom's gonna be when she sees you. This is really hard, huh? Uh-huh. I know. We all love you so much. And we'll be thinking about you every second while you're gone. Okay? And I want you to hold on to something for me, okay, while you're gone? One of these right here? Oh, no, Brian. Oh, no. You're gonna have to take me with you. I'm totally stuck. Help me, Brian. Oh, thank goodness you're here.
Brian! Oh! Oh, honey!
I'm so sorry. I have an emergency page. It's a medical emergency. Do you think I could use your phone just real quick? Yes, I received an emergency page. Okay, all right. Okay, Dr. Phillips, can you tell me where in Texas you're calling from? I'm sorry. Did you say it was a horseback riding accident?
You like it? Yeah, you have it.
I was just speaking with this Dr. Phillips. I think he's right. That patient should have been able to get to a hospital. without her doctor in Texas having to talk to some doctor in Kentucky who's never even going to examine her and whose main business is not concerned for her well-being. I just think our system, well, that it's very expensive to keep a corporate structure like this in place. And it's got to work against our being able to ensure that patients get the kind of care that they need. I think the money might be going in the wrong places.
I agree with what that doctor... I'm sorry, what is your name?
Linda Pino?
I agree with Dr. Pino. The money is going to all the wrong places. And we're going to work very hard together to remedy that situation.
Dr. Pino, let me introduce Dr. Nelson Scarwood. He's the head of medical services here. I don't believe the two of you had a chance to meet yet.
No, we have not.
Let me be very clear why I think Dr. Pino is right. It appears the money's going into all the wrong places because nobody is watching out for this company's bottom line. We've been successful here at Humana because we've been willing to innovate when necessary. And I think that if we are going to continue to be successful, it's time once again to take some innovative measures. So, from now on, once a week, I'll expect reports from each of the UR and medical review staff. This graph will chart your individual denial rates, and we'll be keeping close watch to make sure those lines move in the right direction.
Welcome, big
Now,
brother.
every Tuesday and Thursday, we will get together to discuss the overall results of this concerted effort, and you will report on your individual progress. Anyone else have any other business? All right, then let's go out and improve our numbers.
I can't believe my baby's going away to college.
I know. But, I think I've decided what I want to do.
Really? Woo, that's exciting. What?
I want to be a psychiatric social worker.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
Well, I want to help people. You know, I want to make a difference.
Right?
Like you.
Well, you will. Do anything you set your mind to. You're the smartest human being alive.
I think we need to just review it.
So just put it on my desk and we'll
Linda.
talk about it later. Excuse me. Okay, thank you.
I've got to tell you something. Now, I think you might be mad at me, but I'm quitting.
What?
Me and Scarwood, we are just not a match made in heaven.
We're not either.
Yeah, but it's different for you. You're a doctor. You can stand up to him.
Better you than me. I'd hate to go back to private practice. How's it going?
Great.
I finally understand the beauty of the capitation system now that I have my own practice.
With the money the managed care companies allot for each subscriber's care, all you have to do is find a lot of patients and then keep them healthy.
And you get to keep the money. Just watch for those damned expensive procedures that cut into your profit margins.
Sam, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're critical of the system.
Don't you see why capitation is so brilliant? It actually incentivizes doctors to not order up expensive procedures.
That's just another form of control over the physicians, right? I mean, what if a patient requires an expensive procedure for his or her well-being?
You think twice about it, I'll tell you that.
I think that sounds terrible.
It's just the New World Order, Linda. It's inevitable Humana will implement capitation as well. You just have to get used to it.
I hope not. You know what? I think we should go to Scarwood together. I think we should tell him he's taking this control of physicians thing too far. I mean, why should we dictate to qualified people how they should practice medicine? That doesn't make sense.
Humana, Debbie speaking. I'm going to transfer you.
I understand, but that really needs to go through the head of our department.
All transplant procedures require the approval of the medical reviewer. I'm going to transfer you to Dr. Linda Pino.
Dr. Pino requesting a transplant. Hello, this is Dr. Pino. Uh-huh. Oh, really? What's the condition of the patient right now?
If a matching organ had become available, I don't think he would have lasted for another...
We've got a draw coming.
Sorry, Dr. Pino, I don't think I heard you correctly. You can't possibly be questioning this transplant on the basis of a medical necessity. We need approval for this quickly, please.
Sorry you drew this one, Linda. It's a really, really tough call.
Doctor's ready to operate right now.
You know this is one of the most expensive procedures in modern medicine.
I'm aware of that.
What's the big powwow?
Member patient from Reno. He's on the list for a donor heart.
And they found one. I got the call. I passed it on to Dr. Pino.
He's been helicoptered to Los Angeles. He's on the table waiting for the transplant.
Are there any alternatives?
Death.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna approve it. I don't see any medical or technical basis to deny this man of a transplant. He's on the table right now.
This is the patient's coverage booklet. Now, there is an out in there. I know it, there has to be.
You realize you're talking about this man's survival.
Linda, I realize my bedside manner isn't the best, but this is really how we have to look at these things. It's about resource allocation.
Unfortunately, he's right, Linda. I mean, we pay for this transplant at the expense of what? A baby who needs a cleft palate operation? Maybe 3 angioplasties with better odds for survival?
Right, 3 courses in chemotherapy.
Or a lung biopsy of a father of 3 small children.
I'll be next door if you need me.
Hello.
It seems in the coverage here that the employers made sure that there was no coverage for transplants.
His employer elected to have a contract that excludes heart transplants? I don't believe it.
Well, sir, it's there in the fine print, so.
Oh, I believe the clause was in the fine print, and the employer never knew about it. Or you just put it in there in the fine print. You know, I believe you and your people are murderers. Because you... What was your name again?
Dr. Pino.
You just served a death sentence, Dr. Pino, on a man whose life I could have saved. You might as well have just walked into this hospital and pulled the plug on his ventilator with your own 2 hands, Dr. Pino!
Linda, that's hard to do.
Oh, great job.
Well done, well done.
You just saved this company $500,000. Good work.
Congratulations, really.
Evening, Dr. Pino. So, what do you think? I don't know much about sculpture myself.
I guess I don't either, George.
Well, Mr. Cherry chose it. You know, I'm no art connoisseur, but can you believe this thing cost the company $480,000? I saw the bill. Excuse me, Dr. Pino. Hey, how much longer are you gonna be?
works.
Linda, there's something we wanted to say.
About the other day, the heart transplant. We think that Scarwood and Galston went too far.
You both congratulated me. Will you support me if I say something to Scarwood today?
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Great.
Here's where we were, and here's where we are now. You can see that your numbers are up, that you guys are toeing the line, and we are going to show you how much we appreciate that. Now, does anybody have any business before I announce our latest, greatest coup? Dr. Pino.
Well, actually, it's Dr. Verbush and Dr. Principal as well, not just me.
Gentlemen, what is it?
We wanted to discuss with you this
Actually, Dr.
case.
Scarwood. We just wanted to say how pleased we are with the way things are going.
Well then, this should double your pleasure. Yesterday, Humana purchased a medical plan out of Miami, Florida, home of America's largest retirement community. Now, member premiums are due next week, and these people are known for paying on time, which means an upsurge in cash flow right off the bat. But that's not the best part. According to our analyst, a significant number of these members are due to expire. That is, they're going to die really rather quickly, leaving us with
cash in hand and no patients to spend it on.
absolutely no illnesses, no medication, no expensive procedures to impair our bottom line. Dr. Pino, where are you going? Dr. Pino, this meeting's not over. Please take your seat. If you go out that door, you do it for good. Where was I?
Buried. Right.
Mom. Hi.
What's up, Pix?
Well, gang, Christmas is gonna be a little slim this year.
Well, do you mind filling us in there, Dr. Scrooge?
Think I quit my job. Yeah.
Mom, what happened?
I couldn't lie to myself anymore. That system is unethical to its core, and I couldn't be the one keep making excuses for it.
The whole system? I thought you said there were some good things about it.
I did. And there are good things, but they're not practicing them.
Couldn't you have stayed to fight for what you thought was right, Mom?
Hey, wait a second. Can't I get a little support here?
Can I talk to you for a second, please? You could have at least spoken to me first.
Doug, I tried to the other night, and you were too tired to talk.
Come on, I was half asleep. You know what these are? You know what this is?
Oh, Doug.
You know the last time that we were able to cover a monthly nut? Now, I understand that may be hard to answer because that would presume you knew something about balancing a checkbook.
Why are you doing this? That's really hurtful.
Me hurtful? You unilaterally make a decision that... Nora, let me tell you something. This whole medical business is changing. You're not the only one that's affected. I mean, the new contract the HMO has with the hospital means that my practice is going to bring home less money than we figured. I mean, the court cost with Brian's custody fight coming in, I can break them all down for you. But that does not change the basic question, which is how are we going to pay for them?
Doug, if I stayed there, something in me would have died.
And I may be losing my son. We're all paying a price here. Look, do you remember when we were in school? And we just hope to heal the sick. You remember that old phrase?
Yeah.
No one ever taught me the business of medicine. It seems like these days you need an MBA instead of an MD. Find another job, Pix.
You're the best. I can't believe you recommended me. Who else would I recommend? And you're the head of your department. That means that nobody's breathing down your neck telling you your denial rate sucks.
Talk to him about all my concerns. I mean, things I will devoutly not do from experience. Oh, thanks. And we talked about goals in managed care. I mean, imagine sitting there talking about things other than your medical loss ratio, right?
Well, Dr. Gershon wants to meet you personally. So let me grab my things and we'll go over to the hospital.
During one's life, a person may try on several voices. There might come a moment when you think you found your true voice.
This is so funny, you know? I mean, just being back at Beaumont, you know, this is my alma mater.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be here for a business meeting. They didn't tell me when I interviewed at Brothers that they own this hospital.
Yeah, well, they own 3. And at least you'll be surrounded by friends.
Right? Instead of guiding health care for Earthlings from Mars. Yeah, he came over for birth. I don't know. We could probably run into Doug right now.
How are you two doing?
Good. You know, I think he's happy I found this new job. I won't blow it.
No, it's not possible.
Yes. We're ready now. Okay.
Hey, Cleopatra. Ladies, this is Dr. Linda Pino. She's our new medical director here at Brothers. And in case you're wondering, yes, she is married to him.
The famous Dr. Doug Pino.
Mr. Charming.
Thanks, ladies. Nice meeting you.
We're gonna go down here.
What was it? Cleopatra?
Cleopatra, Queen of Denial.
Ooh, because you deny procedures? Doesn't that hurt your feelings?
No, I know the difference between acting responsibly and acting out of greed. I just constantly check myself and make sure I don't cross the line.
You know how to not cross the line.
Yeah, well.
Refreshing.
You know what? You are early for your meeting, so why don't you come with me on my rounds?
Oh,
so let's go this way.
She's bringing him in now, okay?
Mm-hmm. Thanks. You do realize there's a length of stay restriction in her policy? She has to be checked out by noon tomorrow.
Isn't there anybody at home that can help her out? A mother or relative?
Yeah, there's Mama. He's sleeping. Totally sound asleep.
You miss that?
Miss what, hon?
You know, hands-on patient care. It's a far cry from what we do now, right?
Yeah, well, I figure we're doing a different kind of service. You know, and it's harder because we don't get immediate gratification.
Oh, they're good.
Come on, we have to go see Dr. Gershon.
Thanks for coming. I just wanted to welcome you to Brothers. Dr. Pino, I didn't get a chance to meet you when you were hired.
Oh, well, thank you, Dr. Gershon. Thanks for the confidence you've shown in me.
You bring with you the secrets of Humana to our little nonprofit. And that fills us with confidence. But don't worry, I'll make sure that the Physicians Alliance of Louisville doesn't mess too much with your day-to-day business.
Great, Dr. Gershon, thank you.
You know, the physicians that make up the Alliance have a vested interest in your succeeding. The best of all possible worlds, everyone stands to benefit. Just as long as you keep our patients healthy and our numbers down.
Sounds good.
And right now, I've got to fill my quota.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.
My pleasure, Sharon.
Bye-bye.
I thought he was on the board of Brothers. What was the Physicians Alliance
Pal
got to
is
do with it?
also one of the owners of Brothers. Maybe that's why there's such an emphasis on patient care here. It's kind of refreshing, too, isn't it?
It's shocking.
Well, school's out, and I'm having a craving.
Uh-oh.
Krispy Kreme.
We got him. We got him. We got him. We got him. We won. We got custody. We got him. He's coming home. I can't believe it.
What? Are you kidding me? They called you?
They called me.
Oh, my
Oh, we're gonna have a big
God,
party. We're gonna get some of those
Brian.
the things that you put on the...
right, all that
You're
stuff.
right, yeah, and the popping thing. Oh, I can't believe this is He's, oh, Brian.
What?
We got custody. I can't believe it. Oh.
That's so incredible. When's he coming?
Oh, Friday. I talked to his mother. I have a C-section that morning. Can you pick him up?
Oh, honey, you know what? I'm supposed to go out of town this weekend. So there's this conference in Dallas, and they've asked me to speak at it.
Can you change it?
Well, it's a nationwide conference. That's the first time they've asked me to speak. Can you?
Well, it is a C-section. I mean, this woman's health. What am I supposed to tell her? You just keep your legs crossed. I'll get back to you.
Come on, Doc.
All right. I'll just tell Brian that it's not convenient to our schedules right now, so we'll just pick him up next week.
Oh, come on. Now, that's not fair. You're the one that told me to take this job.
I'll work something out.
It's been my experience that during the transition phases in one's life, a person sometimes tries out a certain voice just to see how it fits or how other people react to it.
Into the 20th century. Please welcome Dr. Linda Pino.
Please, may I, we have the first slide. This is a military situation map. As you can see, the enemy is out there in droves. Tens of thousands of them. Old school doctors with a sense of entitlement using and abusing the fee-for-service system. They're digging in their heels, my fellow managed care industry professionals. Their troops are entrenched. But their weakness is that they're locked into an obsolete mode of combat. So, we have to be like the little army that could. We have to think of ourselves in this industry as the bold, brave 101st Air Defense Artillery Battalion. Now, this unit's mission is to launch a no-holds-barred assault on their prepayment penalty mindset and their blank check mentality, to which they are clinging for dear life in their trenches and in their foxholes.
When you get positive feedback, you might decide to keep that voice for a while. Even if a little niggling voice creeps in and starts to question you. I don't know what to call it. The voice of reason?
Sorry I missed you. I wanted to tell you about my speech, but I think I got a little too
crazy about this military analogy. It started sounding like Dr. Scarwood or something. It was a little bit creepy. Anyway, I wanted to hear your voice and tell you I missed you. So I'll be home tomorrow. Okay. Love you. Tell everybody hi. Bye.
Okay, honey. All right, it's just epi. It's gonna relax you. All right, take a deep breath. Look at me. There, you feel better? Okay, she's doing great. All right,
Papa. Hey, Patty. How are you doing?
Aw, she's doing
Yeah.
real good, doctor. The baby's head's gonna crown any second.
All right, Patty, as we discussed, I'm only going to use those forceps if necessary. I'm going to need that vacuum pump standing by. How's your epidural? I'll give you a pushing dose, but I think that ought to get you through. You nervous? Yeah. Well, we're going to be just fine here. Whoa, there's the head. I'm going to need that vacuum pump. You're doing great, Patty. Where's that vacuum pump?
A little bit dizzy.
Oh, what's her name?
Can we get a nurse in here?
Dawn.
Dawn. Hey, Dawn, you just, why don't you just sit this one out, all right? We're gonna do just fine over here.
Then there are those little voices inside your head,
Real hard right now. His shoulder's back. That's it.
the ones that talk at you from the dark recesses of your subconscious. Try to tell you things that you're just not ready to hear.
There you go. That's it. That's it. I got his shoulder. That's it. Push. Okay. Doing great. Doing great, Patty. That's it. Push.
We got her on O2.
And those voices can be tricky. Sometimes you hear a lot of them at once.
Neurologist been paged?
It's hard to know whether they're just yammering and yammering,
All right, coming through.
or whether they really have something to say to you.
Sorry, I'm so late. Excuse me, everybody. I just got back from Dallas and I had to go see Doug at the hospital.
We're glad you could join us, Linda. I waited for you before making this little announcement.
Oh, great. Sorry.
It seems that the parent company in Minnesota has decided to do an analysis. And after finding out that the Brothers of Louisville is losing vast sums of money and generating nothing but red ink, they have decided to make some changes on the way things are run around here. I'd like to introduce Andrew McCullough, your new executive director. He's here to help us all get back on our feet. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to my day job. Mr. McCullough here will handle the rest of today's business. But if I may, I'd like to leave you with one profound thought. From now on, the bottom line at Brothers is the bottom line.
Level stabilized.
Dr. Catano, what's happening to my sister?
Well, we're not sure, but we think she's having a series of catastrophic strokes.
She's only 31 years old.
It is rare, but it's not unheard of. Young people do have strokes.
Oh my God. Dawn?
Let's extubate her.
Sweetheart?
Excuse me. Deflate the cuff. Okay, let's.
What's happening? Dawn?
Check her ABGs. Let's prepare the O2 mask.
Honey? What is it, sweetie?
Oh, yes, they are unhappy to say the least. You know what? I think they're very unhappy with you and the decisions that you've made me make. Perhaps you're right.
Is there anything I can say to change your mind? No. I can't quit. Doug and I just bought a new house.
I know you have responsibilities.
Our expenses are adding up, and Brianna going off to college soon.
Linda.
I made her a promise. I told her that I would speak my mind and I wouldn't run away.
Linda, you should stay. You should stay and be the one ray of sunlight in this darkening forest.
I don't know if I can do that. And maybe I'll figure out a way to make it work.
Do you remember a nurse over at Beaumont named Dawn DuBose?
Doug might. Why? What happened?
This poor thing had a major stroke at only 31.
Oh. Good Lord.
It's been an endless request for medical procedures, and you know what? No matter what happens, you and I should count our blessings. You gotta take action while you can, you know? Who knows what tomorrow brings?
Right.
As you can see, Linda, emergency rooms are the black hole of the medical insurance business. Now, Kaiser Permanente had a novel approach to the problem. He created a triage center in Atlanta.
I'm sorry, triage center?
Basically a phone bank, but staffed round the clock by qualified UR nurses so that now when a member of their plan feels that they have an emergency situation, instead of dialing 911, they call the ER helpline. Helps them keep their costs down and curtail unnecessary visits.
And,
Well, of course, we can't afford such a plan. We're smaller, but our problems with ER expenses are just as great. We have to find a way to keep costs down. Now, I understand that you are an excellent piece of manpower. Sorry, woman power. And underutilized. And I think that you are the one to help us solve this problem. That is the ER caseload. Linda, I really liked your action on that ER problem. 100% denial? I didn't think you had it in you.
well, it was a legitimate solution. I wouldn't have done it if I thought we were cheating anyone. Anyway, we have an appeal process, as you know, so if they have a legitimate claim, they'll call and protest.
Well, I'm glad you came up with a solution. Maybe you can help this company make some money. You know, some managed care companies have a bonus system.
We're nonprofit.
Well, that just means the company can't show a profit. It doesn't mean that we as individuals can't benefit.
Dr. Pino, there's someone in your office.
You all right?
Oh, sorry, we haven't been properly introduced.
Jim McCombs. I'm the new manager in charge of the UR nurses.
Great, Linda Pino. Cheryl Griffith was my best friend here at the company, so hope we can be friends too.
I'm counting on it. My UR nurses out there are relying on you to uphold their initial evaluations. You know how dispiriting it can be to have a medical reviewer constantly question their judgment.
Right. Well, sympathetic court.
Oh. Well, I just want to touch base, and I look forward to our working together. Great. Okay.
Okay.
What a tragedy.
Right. I looked over her chart. I guess she came out of her coma, but with massive damage.
The prognosis is awful with any kind of brainstem incident.
Linda, what I'm going to say to you now, I'm saying as your colleague.
I'm on your board of directors at Brothers, and with all the changes that the company's going through, well, we're in a bit of a tough spot. But I'm comforted knowing that we're both operating out of the same self-interest.
Self-interest?
This is a terrible situation. Terrible for everyone involved. But you and me, we are responsible for the company's well-being.
I'm sorry. The company's well-being.
And in the interest of the company's well-being, you have got to find a way to get this patient out of this hospital.
Whether or not she needs to stay here longer for her own well-being.
Her doctors have done everything they can for her, Linda. The damage is too catastrophic. But she's very strong. I mean, she may go on fighting for, well, for God knows how long. What I'm saying...
What you're saying is the company gains could be obliterated by a situation like this. An indefinite hospital stay by a desperately sick individual could hurt our medical loss ratio, right?
No. I'm saying that we might consider other ways in which we could allocate our resources.
By finding somebody who has a greater chance benefiting. I know, but who can really make that judgment? Huh? God? Because maybe instead of me finding some technicality to dismiss her on, you'll just do us a favor and take her off our hands.
Linda, where are you going?
Who is that?
Some of the workbooks. She's married to Bud Ralston, anesthesiologist. What? Are you all right? You look a little stressed out. Tell me
Doug.
What? Linda, what is it?
I'm sorry. I just saw that nurse that collapsed.
Right, yeah, don't do both. Yeah.
I ran into that Gershon, you know him?
Yeah, I know who that is. He's the executive director of PAL.
I'm here all over again. Hey, how did that happen? It's supposed to be a nonprofit, and they have doctors supposed to be caring for patients or owning the insurance companies. They have to limit patient care to make a profit, and I don't know how I got here again.
I don't think we should go there.
What?
I don't think we can afford your virtue.
I think I need to go home. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
And then after we reviewed this, obviously... That's quite all right. Andrew, this is Phil Decker.
Good news. We're getting Dawn Dubose to the Beaumont.
Oh, great.
They think she may be a candidate for rehabilitation.
Well, you know, she's regained her eye and mouth movement, so hopefully with new
Our
technology.
doctors requested Shady Oaks, but we have a contract with St. Peter.
Well, I'll review it and let you know.
I've already advised them that Brothers will only pay for St. Peter. We get a discount with St. Peter.
Well, you should have deferred to me on that one, Gemma.
Well, it's not a medical decision.
Yes. Well, like I told Mr. Remar, that's the company policy. I'm sorry.
Who was that?
Nobody. Why?
Nobody.
It was personal.
Didn't sound personal. Dr. Linda Pino. No, this is Dr. Pino.
Sir, whoa. I'm sorry. No, we've never spoken before. I really don't know what you're talking about.
My partner and his client got the runaround from your company for 2 months, Dr. Pino, in a situation where every second mattered, and in the end, you denied coverage.
I remember this case. The boy was about 10 years old.
Yes,
right?
Gary Remar will be 11 in April. An adequate rehabilitation at the time of this accident could have made the difference between his functioning in society or spending the rest of his life, and that's what we're talking about now, the rest of his life in social services.
I'm sorry, Mr. Scheinberg. I'm very confused. You see, I approved this case. I swear I did.
Well, here's the letter that we received from your company.
This is outrageous. This is denied after I'd approved it by Gemma Coombs.
And who is Gemma Coombs?
She's heads a utilization review department that reports to me. I'm so sorry. I can't believe people do this.
Well, they do it. They do it all the time.
This is so unethical.
Well, fancy that. A large corporation behaving unethically.
What do you do? You're a lawyer. What do I do?
Well, look, I had to go back to school. I just enrolled in a class in ethics at the Louisville Seminary.
So what would they say about this?
Well, my professor's a big devotee of Merton.
Thomas Merton.
You know him?
I know of him very well, but I haven't read his work, so.
Well, he's fantastic. I think he was a real social activist. He just had wonderful things to say about, well, our responsibilities to one another. Why don't you borrow this?
Great. Thank you. When shall I get it back to you?
Anytime you want. Soon, I hope.
I believe the numbers reflect our UR nurses are making progress in achieving some of the objectives we've set.
Progress such as denying Gary Remar's request?
Linda, you don't know the details of that case.
And apparently you do. Which would mean that you're aware that Gemma went around me? That she made a denial over my signatured approval?
Decision isn't yours to make. Ultimately, I bear the responsibility.
Ooh. Responsibility's a heavy yoke, Andrew. You sure you want to take sole responsibility for what was done to that little boy?
Thank you, Linda. Gemma, please continue.
Well, as I was saying, it's been a fantastic week here, and I think we need to acknowledge the efforts.
Has this happened a lot? Have you two been overruling me on other procedures I've approved?
Oh, Dr. Pino, like it or not, we have to work together. It's clear we have different philosophies about our work. I think it's important to at least understand each other. Now, we were trained in the medical profession, but we are now involved in a business. You seem to resist that fact. I don't think it serves the company. That's why, as head of the UR nurses, I acted as I did on the Remar case.
Well, I appreciate your candor, Miss Combs. I really do. So, to further our efforts to understand one another, let me be clear with you, okay? If you ever sign a claims form in my name or attempt to circumvent my authority again, I, as director of medical reviews, will see to it that you're fired.
matter how much sleep I lose over this. You know, Jenna's the kind of person who has her own logic, which is that this is purely business. I mean, can't find a way to, make decisions I don't believe in.
Who knows what effect you'll have if you keep saying what you believe in. From the sound of it, you've already put the fear of God into your secretary.
Yeah, but those are just words, right? I mean, how do you put it into action? And I'm just terrified that if I leave, I'll be haunted by the thought that I could have helped even one person.
Well, Heschel said, I can remember the quote, speech has power, and few realize that words do not fade. What starts out as a sound ends as a deed. I have complete faith in you. You're going to put words into action, and I want to be there to see it. I want to be in your life when you... Hello?
Hey. Doug, what are you doing here?
Well, tell me what's going on here.
I'm Paul Scheinberg. You must be Doug Pino.
Yes.
Why don't you get up before you make a big ass of yourself?
Excuse me?
I think I was speaking English, right?
I'm sorry, Paul. This is really embarrassing. Oh, I got it myself. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'll see you. It's really ridiculous.
Dern, don't you ever humiliate me like that again.
Humiliate you? Are you kidding me? Linda, you tell me, are you screwing him?
What are you talking about? Of course I didn't.
I know that something is going on there. I know that look between you two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Why, Doug? Because you've had it with a couple of your nurses?
What is that bullshit?
Tell me what's really going on here.
You're not turning this around back onto me, Linda. I'm not the one hanging out with another man.
We were talking. We were talking to each other. I talked to him, and he listened to me, okay? Something you are obviously incapable of.
Dr. Pino. Oh, dear, you look wrecked. Thanks. What's a voice assist machine? Something the patient from hell clearly doesn't need. See that that's your opinion. I might need to take a little more time with this before I form mine. Well, you know, it would be helpful, Dr. Catano, if you could describe to me exactly how this voice assist machine works.
The machine has a stored vocabulary of 2,750 words, Dawn. And if we're able to purchase one, it can be programmed to learn your particular word patterns. This is the speech synthesizer. Let's try something simple to start, okay?
I'm just gonna move your head, honey, okay? There you go. Atta girl. That's it.
I can talk.
Yes, you can.
Well done.
Abraham Joshua Heschel. One of my favorite quotes from Heschel is, "Some are guilty, but all are responsible." How does this impact an individual's life? Where does this put you in relationship to your friends, your relatives, society as a whole? When you take an act of kindness, it ripples
Listen.
through the larger community.
Listen hard for those voices. They're trying to tell you something. Your own voice, when it comes, trickles out in fits and starts. You might not even recognize it at first.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, Linda, perhaps you could tell us what this presentation is all about?
Take your seats. Morning. Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a request from a doctor in one of our plans to obtain a special medical device for a patient who suffered a debilitating stroke. Many of you may be thinking, that's absurd, unnecessary. Addle-brained, I think, was one of the adjectives that I stumbled across. Anyway, many of you had attached notes, as you can see, with the main question being, is such a costly device really necessary? So I thought it would be great to have the doctor come here this morning and answer some of our questions.
Dr. Kitano is here.
Oh, wonderful.
You might have given us a little warning, Linda.
Dr. Kitano, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Dr. Kitano has actually brought the device with him, which should be a rare treat for all of us to actually be in the room with someone or something on whose behalf we are making a life-altering decision. This is a voice assist machine, and Dr. Kitano is going to demonstrate it for us. Thank you. Please.
This could be the voice of Dawn Dubose.
The patient hasn't actually worked with this yet. She's only used this generic model because, well, this female voice is more expensive, and we don't want to get her too attached. But as you can imagine, it would mean a lot to her to have it.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Kitano? What's the matter, people? Have you all lost your voices? Well, since Dawn is trying to get hers, and we did have a lot of questions when the request first came in, maybe I should go ahead and start with the most important one for us here, which is, how can this machine save us money?
Of course. Since her stroke, Dawn's been mute. She has no way of communicating her needs, which she understands better than anyone. We'll be able to avoid costly hospital visits, prescribe medication, identify certain conditions before they become progressive. All if Dawn has the means of communicating better with us.
I'm sorry, I just don't see what's so important about a voice.
Well, that's not surprising, Gemma, considering the note that you actually attached to Dawn's request. I have it right here, and it says, and I quote, "Approve this and it will be your last." Really appreciate that kind of support. Really do. In fact, why don't you hold on to that little token of my esteem. Thank you, Dr. Kitano.
Hey! I'm sorry I didn't tell you that I was leaving, but you took off kind of quickly the other day. So.
I have so much to tell you. So much has happened.
Tell me.
So, remember when you told me to turn speech into action?
Yes?
I think I did. I no longer work at Brothers.
What do you mean? What happened?
I approved Dawn's voice machine.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, great. Congratulations. So you took a stance. That must have been terrifying. How do you feel?
Yeah, it was terrifying, and I feel amazing.
I'll bet. Congratulations, really. I'm very proud of you. Very proud. What's the matter?
Doug came to the office the other day and apologized for how embarrassingly he behaved.
Oh, good.
And he said all the right things. Told me he'd support me if I quit my job, be there for me.
Well, that's important. You have his support.
But he didn't mean it. He said it because he was afraid of losing me. I mean, I waited our whole relationship for him to say those things, and he never supported me like you just did, genuinely, like you are right now.
And I'm at a point in my life where what I mainly want is to simplify things. Simplify. And this is very complicated.
It is.
You understand?
It is very hard when you're first learning to use a new voice.
I like the part where he says that as soon as man began considering himself the source of the highest meaning in the world and the measure of everything, the world began to lose its human dimension. Right. Sister Mary Rhodes. Rhodey.
Rhodey.
I'm a nun with the Sisters of Loretta.
Oh, uh-huh.
We're a progressive order trying to save the world.
Right.
No, seriously.
Wow, thank goodness somebody is. My name's Dr. Linda Pino.
Ah.
And I'm currently unemployed and definitely not saving the world.
But you're reading Havel. He's interested in structural evil, the way whole organizations and industries and governments become corrupt. And how does that relate to your life?
Well, it does, in that I used to work in the managed care industry for an HMO.
Please, you must come talk to my Sisters of Loretto.
Oh.
Please, how do we change the world if we don't have the weapon of information that someone like you can provide us?
I'm a little uncomfortable with public speaking.
Oh, I'm sure you're great. When do you think you could come and talk with us?
So then, Rhodey said to me, it's your responsibility to tell what you know. That got to me. And as you may know, she seems to know how to get to people. So I asked, where do I start? Sister Rhodey suggested that I tell you what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I feel like I'm having my 40 days in the desert right now. But I do know about the managed care industry. And I know it's affecting a lot of people. Sometimes in very, very harmful ways. And if somebody doesn't speak out, it's going to keep happening. So I guess that's why Rhodey brought me here today. Imagine what could be happening right now as I stand here talking with y'all.
You say his fever's at 104? I don't think an ambulance is necessary, but I'm going to send you to an emergency room.
Oh, I've never heard of that hospital.
Well, my husband knows the city a little bit better, but he's working the night shift.
That's the only hospital I can send James to in your area, Mrs. Adams.
Okay, just a second.
Scottish Rite Children's Medical Center. I'm not too good with directions, ma'am. I'll just give you the phone number and you can call them yourself.
How is he? Are you okay?
He's the directions to the hospital. Oh no. James, hurry.
It's way up north, almost 50 miles away.
I don't care, just go there.
This isn't the place they sent us.
Are you crazy? We never would have made it.
How are we gonna pay for this?
It doesn't matter, we'll find a way. Oh my God, he's barely breathing. Oh my baby.
Respiratory distress, help me. I'm just gonna take a...
Oh no.
Get a call, Blue. Bring in oxygen. Yeah, I got CVs.
What? Just like seeing you there. Getting to watch you grow up.
Mom?
Yeah, here I come. Can you help me help your sister pack her stuff for school? Oh.
Hello? Yes, Dr. Pino. Dateline on a TV show? Yes, I'll hold. They're putting me on with a producer from Dateline because they want me to be on the show.
Why?
Coffee?
No, thank you.
We, read about the talk you gave at the Louisville Seminary. You seem to have an interesting and unique perspective on the managed care industry.
What I don't understand is why you wanted me to talk about this particular case. I mean, I wasn't involved with it, so. Nobody else was willing to do it. People seem to be afraid of Kaiser. Even though the family sued and won, huh?
I guess this case shows how high the stakes actually are for these companies.
Right.
So I just wanted to get a little more background now. I know you worked for Humana, not Kaiser.
Essentially, managed health plans have the same mandate, which is to manage costs, not care. It looks like in the baby James case, Kaiser could have definitely helped that little child.
Could you be more specific?
Well, when Mrs. Adams brought her baby to the health plan's clinic, he already had 2 or 3 of the 5 signs of meningitis.
Well, why didn't they admit him to the hospital for observation?
Because admission to the hospital costs money. And under an HMO, no one gets admitted for observation, even sick babies.
Couldn't the doctor have taken it upon herself to devote more time to such an obviously sick child?
See, the way it's set up is that doctors are paid a fixed amount of money per patient. That's a deadly combination. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have seen doctors make decisions that harm a patient just to save a little money. You know, I don't know that I can say all this on television.
Oh, don't worry, you're gonna be great. We've got everything we need.
In order to save baby James's life, the doctors had to amputate all 4 of his limbs. Lamona Adams says she is convinced it wasn't just the disease that nearly killed her son and left him a quadruple amputee. It was her HMO that sent him to a hospital 42 miles away. A hospital, it turns out, that gave Kaiser a 15% discount.
There she is.
Look at her hair.
She looks great.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, great.
I am outraged. I think this whole country should be outraged. It is a tragedy. It is something that should never have happened in the 1990s, in a country that claims that it has the best healthcare system in the world.
Dateline will be back.
You look beautiful.
So
Well, I didn't really do anything. I just talked a little about the HMOs. But
One step at a time, Linda. That's how you save the world. It was great.
And that kid, you got $50 million.
Yeah. You know what, honey? He didn't actually. They had to settle for a lot less, the family at Kaiser.
How much less?
Hello?
What do you care? Look at the price you have to pay.
Yeah. It's Bree.
Hey, Bree.
Her whole dorm watched with her. She said she was really proud of me. Yay! There's my other line. Okay, honey. They all love you too. Yeah, Rhodey's here too. Okay, call us later. Hello? Yeah. Oh, yes. It's Dateline. The phones are ringing off the hook. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hi. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Humana, I guess, heard about it and wants a retraction, and they said they're calling saying really not nice things about me.
I can imagine.
Right. You'll man the phone. I'm gonna go check on my man. Doug, what's going on with you? You said you were gonna come home and watch the show with us, and...
Well, sometimes work takes precedent. You know, you've been going all over talking about this stuff since you quit your last job. I have not once asked you to tone it down.
All right. So what happened?
You know, we have contracts at our practice with Humana, Blue Cross, name but a few. In fact, our biggest contract came to us because the original OBGYN had his patients pulled from the HMO because he didn't toe the line. I guess he called into question some of their judgments.
So you think you're gonna lose your contract because of me?
My partners, they think that. And I don't know if I can afford to have them looking at me like I'm a liability.
I'm sorry, Doug. I am. But, you know, you told me you were gonna support me.
I do support you. I support you. I just didn't sign on for a holy war against the whole...
Answer this. Hello?
Dr. Pino, think twice before speaking out. The more you keep talking, the more you put your family at risk.
What? What's the matter?
He said, I should keep my mouth shut, and, otherwise something could happen to our family.
Oh, that's great. That's just...
I've never actually spoken with you. Not really. But I've heard your voice. And I know how powerful it is. I know because I had no voice. And now I have a voice again.
How's Daddy's little angel today? Oh, are you okay? Here you go, honey. I missed you so much. Daddy's gonna get the mail. Okay, I'll be right back. Wanna go for ice cream later? Yeah? You like that? Oh, look, I got a letter from Aunt Ruthie. When the department switched policies to Humana, they promised us that everyone, including those with special needs, would still be covered.
I know that, Mark.
They told me that they were going to put Caitlin into a state-of-the-art case management program, that she would get better care than under the old plan.
And they did that, didn't they?
Only to be dropped 10 months later. There are times that she needs hospitalization, special equipment, special therapy. What the hell am I supposed to do?
So they called me and asked me to be an expert witness in some case against Humana.
Oh, well, what did they do?
I don't know yet. They left me a message. I hadn't called back yet, but it seems that there's a cop in Florida whose child's health was affected by some questionable decisions. So I just never thought that, I don't know, a couple of talks about HMOs was going to end up being my life's work.
You know, You're supposed to be able to trust a doctor, especially if you take a child.
Right.
I mean, because the medical profession, sit down, Linda. The medical profession demands the doctors take an oath, the Hippocratic Oath, not hypocritic oath. Linda, I don't believe that any life experience is ever wasted. Now, you told me that you've never been able to use your medical training to help people. Well, maybe this is your chance to do so.
Okay, Mr. Leopold. Ted, well, I sure do hope I can help the Chips. I don't know if I can. Uh-huh. Okay. All right, well, good. So you have a safe journey in, then. Okay. Uh-huh. Sealback Hotel, dining room. Mm-hmm. 9 a.m. Okay. I look forward to it.
Please tell me that I didn't just overhear you taking on another case. Tell me that's not true, please. What the hell's this?
You tell me.
Dear Dr. Pino, I admire you as a person. That is why I'm sending you this letter. I thought it was important for you to know that your husband has been having an affair with an OB tech here at Boma, and I've enclosed a list of times and places he was observed with this young woman. How could you believe something like this? Sent by someone who doesn't even have the courage to sign their own name.
I didn't say I believed it. But I'm asking you now if I should.
Well, I'm hurt that you would even ask me that question.
Doug, I mean, why would somebody write something like that?
Well, I wish I knew. I don't know. But I'll tell you
Who makes
this.
that up?
I don't know who makes it up. I will make it my life's work, however, to find out who is responsible for this. And if they work at Beaumont, their career is finished.
Do you know who this is?
Yes.
OB Tech
So she works in the maternity ward.
Well, then they must have gotten a letter like that, too.
Well, what's your point?
Maybe we should go to their house. Right? I mean, we should warn them so they don't have to feel the shock we just did.
That's a great idea. It's true. It's over. It was a huge mistake. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Mr. Leopold, hi, Linda Pino. You know, well, I know you came all the way from Florida to meet with me, and I appreciate that, but I have to tell you right off the bat, I can't do this case. I'm sorry.
Would you mind just going over some of the material with me? Please.
So, Right. There were many other very sick children who were dropped by Humana at the same time they dropped Caitlin. Between 25 and 50 of them are chronic, catastrophically ill cases. HMOs hate them because they can't save money on them.
So, you think Humana knew when they sold this plan to the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Department that they were going to drop Caitlin?
Now, I think they knew they were going to drop some members. But what you have to establish is how they determine which ones.
Yeah, well, how can I do that without your help?
Mr. Leopold,
Dr. Pino, you are the only one. I have looked everywhere, and you are the only one that knows how these plans work and who's willing to take them on.
It's really not a good time for me and my family right now.
Please work with me. Please.
Speak out. Speak your mind. And when you do, your voice will be heard.
Honey? Hello? Oh, good grief. Hey! Hi. Hey! Oh, honey, I didn't expect you till tomorrow.
No, I decided to come a day early.
Beautiful.
No. I wanted a chance for us to talk about stuff.
Well, good, honey. I want to talk to you about anything.
Okay.
You want something
Mom,
to drink?
No, Mom.
What's wrong?
If you testify in this trial, it's gonna ruin Dad's practice.
Whoa. Did he say that to you? Has your father been calling you and talking to you about this? Honey, I'm so sorry. He shouldn't be talking to you about things like that.
Are you gonna get divorced?
Oh, honey, come here. No, what makes you think something like that?
Then why don't you just show him you care about him?
Ray, honey, I stayed in a job that I hated because your father wanted me to. I quit my residency because your father wanted me to. I've made every choice I've made in the last 15 years because your father wanted me to. And now all of a sudden, I'm sorry, Bree. I want to keep talking to you about this. Hello?
Dr. Pino,
Yes? Who is this?
discretion is the better part of valor, Dr. Pino. If you can remember that, then I know we can too. We have a lot of information about your husband's affairs.
What?
Check your credit card receipts. The jewelry store items might be of interest.
Who is this?
Let me warn you, Dr. Pino. There's a lot more evidence we will take public if you don't cooperate.
Oh, Sally, you know where my husband is? I called the jewelry store. Yeah, I know about the little bracelets. Your friend. You said it was over. It is over. You need to pick up your things and you need to leave. Okay?
Let me handle that.
I got it.
I'll say. Hey, why don't you go say goodbye to your mom? I'll get the rest. Go on.
Okay.
Hey. Need another hug. Let's see you at the game, okay? It's one more thing.
Don't fall down the stairs. Come on, please.
Oh, stop. Oh, this
No,
is
you're
bad
not.
one. This is the worst one yet,
Mom,
Brian.
please. Love you too. Bye.
Hello, Mr. Leopold. Hi, it's Linda Pino calling you. Let's do this.
Have you been engaged to give any clinical opinions in this case with regard to the care and treatment of Caitlin Chips?
No, sir.
Have you ever, Dr. Pino, managed the care and/or treatment of a pediatric cerebral palsy case? And if so, when? Dr. Pino, have you been accused in any pending litigation matter of misleading the court with regard to your income?
Objection. I mean, come on, Glenn, really.
Have you been accused in any legal proceeding of adultery?
Pardon me?
I knew they were gonna attack my credibility, but I didn't know it would be so personal.
Money's very personal to these guys.
That has nothing to do with this. That's crazy. And you know what, Ted, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can do this. My daughter is so angry with me. She's blaming me for this whole divorce. Doug's not helping, you know. He's telling my family that it's because of this work I'm doing. So how can I do it?
There's 3 weeks until the trial. Go home. Get your personal life in order. Think about it.
Hey. Hi. How's it going?
I just came by to see how you were. Mail?
What's going on with you?
Nothing.
Dr. Pino, I've been searching for the words to express how important this voice is that you gave me. And the reason I have a voice is because you spoke for me when I was confined by silence.
There are many things I once took for granted that I'll never do again. But I can still think a thought and cause a sound to reverberate in the world that conveys an approximate meaning. You may have wondered, what is the value of a voice? Mom, I gotta do it, Brie. Yeah, I think I understand.
Dr. Pino, I'd like to go to 1995. I'd like to show you what is already in evidence as plaintiff's exhibit number 176. May we see the exhibit, please? Here's a memo talking about paying financial bonuses to case managers and physician advisors. This is a memorandum from whom?
The Humana Home Office.
And what is it about?
Reduction of hospital bed days. Hospital stays are the most costly aspect of any health plan's activities.
Sometime later in 1997, there was a decision made about some patients who were in Humana's case management program. Was there a decision that came along with this document that affected Caitlin Chips?
Well, the whole case management process was being overhauled. The focus was on keeping in patients from whom the most savings could be extracted.
Can we see slide 0193, please? Can you tell us what we're looking at here, Dr. Pino?
Yes, sir. Across the top, you'll see congestive heart failure, diabetes, ESRD, which is end-stage renal disease, and PADOS for neonatal care. This is a calculation of the amount of savings by managing each of those conditions. I think the most important figure is the one down there that is highlighted in yellow, which reads, it generates $78.5 million of savings by focusing on those conditions.
Dr. Pino, in order for Humana to save so much money in Region 1, the Florida region, what do they have to do to the Caitlin Chipses? What did they have to do to the Raul Soleranes and the Andrew Yanezes and the rest of the 31 you mentioned earlier?
They had to get rid of the children with long-term medical problems. And as one case manager said, as one of the documents showed, they had to, quote, weed out the peds.
I'm sorry it's taken me so long to write this letter. I've been looking for a way to thank you for this voice that you gave me. There is a saying, it is the still, small voice that the soul heeds.
Would you read the jury's decision to the court?
In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, case number CL96-423-AE. Verdict number 1. What is the amount of compensatory damages sustained by Mark Chips individually and for the use and benefit of Caitlin Chips for breach of contract? $28,763. Verdict number 2. What is the total amount of punitive damages to be assessed against defendant Humana Health Insurance Company? $78,500,000. So say we all.
Hi.
You're Andrea?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. You too. Thank you for coming. Dawn, look who's here.
Hey, Dawn.
Please take a seat.
Yeah, we're okay here.
I wanted to say thank you.
I want to thank you. You may think I helped you get your voice, but you helped me find mine. And I am blessed, I know, to have the opportunity to use it. And I'm making you a promise that I am going to keep talking till somebody hears me. So thank you. Thank you. I'm sure there have been times when you thought your life had taken a turn that confused you. But follow your inner voice, and the world will soon hear it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, women and men of the audience. I thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Linda Pino. I am a former medical reviewer and medical director for 2 different managed care organizations. I wish to begin today by making a public confession. In the spring of 1987, as a physician, I caused the death of a man. Since that day, I have lived with this act and many others, eating into my heart and my soul. The man died because I denied him a necessary operation to save his heart. The man's faceless distance soothed my conscience. When any moral qualm arose, I was to remember. I did not deny him care. I only denied him payment. At the time, this helped avoid any responsibility for my decision. Now I am no longer willing to accept this escapist reasoning. We have enough experience from history to demonstrate the consequences of secretive, unregulated systems that go awry. One can only wonder how much pain, suffering, and death will we have before we have the courage to change our course. Personally, I have decided even one death is too much.
Wow, so glad that family won their case. The film definitely didn't pull any punches when it came to exposing the ugly side of the healthcare system. Laura Dern absolutely owned the role of a conflicted doctor caught between her duty to the patients and the cold, ruthless world of corporate medicine. You could really feel her internal struggle, every hesitation, every moment of doubt. It all felt so real and raw. Her character, Linda Pino, was indeed a real person. She even testified before Congress in 1996, admitting she once denied a life-saving operation to save costs, a decision that haunted her deeply. This film did a solid job bringing that intense moral struggle to the screen. While Dern's performance was top-notch, I felt the chemistry between her and James Legros, who played her husband Doug, was a bit lacking. Their dynamic never fully clicked, which made some of their scenes feel flat and less impactful. On the other hand, the supporting cast brought some much needed depth to the story. Regina King added a refreshing energy, while Adam Arkin's performance as the health claims lawyer helped ground the film with a sense of realism. One thing that stood out to me was how the film highlighted the often unseen pressures doctors face within the insurance system. It's easy to villainize individuals, but this film shed light on the more systemic issues that push good people to make questionable decisions. All in all, I'm giving the movie a respectable 3.5 stars. If you're craving another medical drama, I'd highly recommend watching State of Emergency starring Joe Mantegna. I only reviewed it recently and gave it a well-deserved 4 stars. In my opinion, it's a slightly more intense and engaging watch than Damaged Care, with a stronger emotional punch and tighter pacing. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, make sure you like, subscribe, and press that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and this is Holy Critic signing out.